So today is July help, thank you, 5th, 2011, and we are at Sage in Woodstock. Welcome, we are the Master Teachers. Welcome to the planet. Welcome to this vibrational field and welcome to the wake-up call. The alarms are ringing loud and clearly, and it is time to take your blinders off and remove your earplugs and stop desensitizing yourselves and begin to tune in now to other levels of consciousness. What you have been doing, and we speak now as the earth plane, what you have been doing for so long now is, let us say, ready for upgrade. So let us now upgrade. Let us now increase the frequencies. And as we increase the frequencies, be aware that every single particle of your being now is upgrading. And with this upgrade, yes, you are in the memory more and more, where the memory becomes the, let us say, reality of what it is. Again, we increase the frequencies. And what is this superhero-ness? What is this quality within you? That makes you jump into telephone booths and don your latex booties. People, it is time now to make that quick change in the telephone box and to really penetrate the essence of your being and come into that place now where you are no longer behaving as the traumatized self, but you are in the superhero self, stronger, mightier, faster, very sensitive, yet at the same time extremely powerful. There is this slight disconnect or misconcept with you that, oh, I'm so sensitive, oh. And with this sensitivity, I can't do this and I can't do that, and oh. Well, your sensitivities are your strengths, dear beings. There is no more wussing around. It is now the time for you to be strong and powerful. We are the master teachers, and you, dear friends, are the masters and the teachers. Again, we increase the frequencies. And there is all this work that you are doing on yourselves. Oh, I'm doing all the self-work now. I'm so much better than I was. Oh, I've been doing so much work on myself. Well, hurry up, dear brothers and sisters, and get that work done if you need to, if you so feel drawn to. Get the work done so that it's no longer about yourself. The more you think about yourself, the more you do work on yourself, the more self, the more you continue to energize this concept of the separated self. Okay, you need the work, hurry up, get the work done. Take your car to the mechanic, get that oil change, get that new transmission, and then get out of there. Out, drive that car and go flying down the street. Exercise your engine. Exercise your vehicle. Fly through space and be in that space of interconnection. So we, as we have said to you on so many occasions, think about others. Think about the world around you. Start being in service. Start being in connection. Start doing things for everybody else and no longer just for yourself. And stop telling the stories about yourself. Every time you open your mouth, the self, the self, the self. Oh, I'm so hungry, let's feed the self, the self, the self. The self is grand. The self is a superhero. The self is everything. The self is God. Allow yourselves to be in this expanded state. Again, we increase the frequencies. And as we increase the frequencies, be careful that you do not misconstrue our words. We celebrate your individuality. We celebrate you as the self. And at the same time, we are saying, do not lock yourself down into this self. Do not restrict yourself to yourself. What a wonderful quote. Perhaps a good name for a book. Do not restrict yourself. Do not restrict yourself. You are not just this self. Again, we increase the frequencies. We ask you to answer yes or no if you are understanding what we are saying. Now,
Yes.
does this resonate with yourself? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you recognize that you are self-locked on many occasions?
Yes.
Yes.
And again, we increase the frequencies. And now the self, in celebration of itself, is now beginning to expand, retaining self and being an expanded state of self and expanded state of self within the greatness of this infinite universe. Now that is one giant concept for you to even think about, let alone be. that this is where you in fact are. Again, we increase the frequencies. And you come to this point where you recognize the self almost with this element of disassociation, however we find a problem with this word energetically. It is where you are no longer attached to the being of yourself, but see it simply as what it is, an element of consciousness, where you are witness to your being. You are not on the outside or the inside as a witness. You are simply witnessing without the traumatic, dramatic attachment to what you know as yourself, your history, your story, your aspirations, your hurts, your wants, your desires. Allow these now to simply dissolve, integrate into the greatness of you. And again, we increase the frequencies. And with this increase, there is a strong field of grounding. We ask if you answer yes or no if you are feeling the shift.
Yes.
Yes.
And again we increase. So what we will work with now is the deepening of your energetic patterns, of your, let us say, intentions. That many of you need to deepen and formalize your practice, your intentions. With the dynamic shifts, changes now in your beings, and the information available to you, in the energetic forms available to you now. What is important is that you are not simply floating. Now, we have used this term floating as perhaps a good terminology. In some cases you can imagine an object floating on the top of the water. That there is resonance to this ability to just be a floating object that is not harmed or overly manipulated by environment. But we also see that many beings now are just literally floating. And they are not utilizing the energies available to them, there is this level of numbness or of no motivation or of downright fear, a form of paralysis almost. And for those that are in this position, we now speak loudly and clearly. Step into your power. Do not be like the windflower, blowing in this direction with the wind, in that direction with the wind. So now let us work essentially with all beings so that you have this element of deep rootedness, of deep connection with Mother Earth. That you are here and you are here now. And it is not about the next lifetime or the next dimension or the next movie or the next thing. And this is what is very, very important understanding and shift for you as human beings. It is being in the present moment with understanding, with conviction. And as your roots, your energetic roots now grow deeply from your bodies, from the soles of your feet, from your derrieres, all of these roots reach down into the earth, and with this you are again aware of your intertwining, of your interconnection, as all of your energetic roots meet up. You are in fact one giant organism, just like the redwoods. You all pop up outside of the crust of the earth and appear magically as individuals. But deep under the earth, all of your roots are intertwined and come from the one source, the Mother. And it is this Mother that loves you and nurtures you and gives you life. And as you are aware of this deep connection, as you reach out and speak to each other, it is like when you reach out your arm away from your body, you look at your fingers and you think, wow, that is so far away. It looks so separate, and yet it is me. It is my arm or my toes. Oh yes, and there is really my brother and sister. And really, I am a part of them and they are a part of me. We are rooted together. We are all one. And as the sense of separation dissolves into this state of integratedness, you become completely aware of the divine that vibrates through every particle of your being. And you become incredibly grateful for all beings around you, great and small, compassionate and angry. But they are all aspects of the one and the same thing. So as we increase the frequencies, be aware now of these connections. Of this multitude of biological, electromagnetic, ethereal, etc., etc. connections. And with these connections, you become more clear. You become more grounded. You are not some spiritual snob flying in the high ethers. I am better than you because. You are understanding and compassionate and non-judgmental. Again, we increase the frequencies. As we increase the frequencies, become aware of the density of your being, the heaviness of your head. As you begin to expand, hold this expansion now in your being. And gently move your feet and your fingers. And see how much you're able to hold the state of expansion while in movement. And we'll pause for one moment. So this is me, Suzy. So while we're in this state, just see if you can open your eyes and just be present. And drink some water if you need it. So breathe. We are the master teachers. Breathe. Breathe into your bodies. Yes! How funny is that? This form of consciousness this big array of biology gets by breathing. Fancy that. Fancy that. Really think about that. What are you doing? You are experiencing the separation of inner and outer. Your lungs are the inside. Everything outside of your body is the outside. You are keeping this being alive by taking the outside and putting it on the inside. Then the outside goes whoosh, 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 all through the inside, and then goes back to the outside. Very fancy indeed, really, isn't it? The way that it works is that you have a concept of yourself being, let us say, a delineated boundary. Now let us just breathe. Breathe without thinking of the self as a delineated boundary. But simply there is this movement. Not in, out. Let us think more like a pendulum, from left to right, right to left. It is just this swinging motion. That you are swinging between consciousness of everything, consciousness of delineation perhaps. And breathe. And now breathe from, again, not in and out, that there is no delineation between you and the outside world. But there is simply the divine. And the breath is simply the movement from side to side, left to right. The pendulum swing within the complete body of the divine. So with your breaths, you are beginning now to melt this separation. Increase the frequencies. And let us now work with the head, the third eye, the crown chakra, the glands in your head, the pituitary, the brain, the networks, the huge, huge expanse of your head. The biological capacity is phenomenal. The spiritual capacity is infinite. Why is your brain, why is your head at the top of your body? Why is it not down there somewhere? Why is it towering up to the heavens like a radar dish, like an antenna at the top of a mountain? Become aware now of this very powerful ability to receive and transmit information. It is sitting there right on top of your head, like the World Wide Web, internet, cable, satellite, rolled into one, 24/7, free minutes on weekends. It's all there, dear friends. Biologically enhanced, electromagnetically, dynamically enhanced. There you go. Super computers. There you go. Everything you need is sitting right there in that block. It is your brain, it is your thoughts that are certainly the commanders. It is your brain that interprets everything, even the feelings. They go to your brain and they get processed. They are lined up with associations, memories. They get linked to sounds, to smells, to feelings, to touch. It's a pretty powerful factory up there on your head, isn't it? So now let us increase, let us say your confidence, let us say your belief system, let us say your knowing that that head on your shoulders is a damn good one, folks. And you have the ability to do, underlined in bold, we say this. You, dear superheroes, have the ability to do anything. We increase the frequencies. So in this time right now, many of you are realizing that yes, you can do anything. Fancy that. And some of you are bold and courageous enough to actually start doing anything. Yes, we do see that it does take some conviction, that it does take, let us say, courage, simply. But this is all part of your system and all available to you. So now that you can do anything, dear, dear brothers and sisters, we increase the frequency. Dear brothers and sisters, as you can do anything, think big. Think of the greater self. Think of the world at large. And use your powers of fearlessness, of non-judgment, of compassion. All of the doing anything power comes from such a powerful place that it must be done with complete alignment, that you must be aligned in truth, in your truth, in the divine self. For if you begin to do anything from a place of greed or a place of trauma or a place of anger, it will be very powerful. Again, we increase the frequencies. Say very clearly that what is so important now and what you are all moving through and going through is that you begin, if not completely, but definitely with a lot of energy, begin to stop comparing yourself to others. Because this is something that is energetically disintegrative. To try and be like others, or that you have missed out, or that you are different. Obviously, these thoughts do not serve you well. Allow yourself to simply be yourself. And do not compare. Yes, you could be completely different to everybody else around you. It is totally possible. And the more you begin to live who you really are, the true self, without trying to fit into some sort of system set up by society or the family or the church or whatever, be completely yourself, your own thoughts. If you really understand something, then speak up. Oh wow, I really think that the earth is round. And no one else thinks that, just me. You are the inventors, dear brothers and sisters. You are the inventors of this, your world. So continue to invent. Invent new and profound, undiscovered ways to deal with your world now. Come up with magical ideas of, wow, how will we deal with this environmental issue? How will we deal with this outrageous behaviour? And at the same time, remember to be highly respectful of other people around you. This is all about a graceful reconciliation between self, divine self, your power, your superhero power, and now. We increase the frequencies. And as you are increasing these frequencies and these elements within yourself, send this energetic information now. Share it with consciousness. Allow this energy to go to all beings, great and small. We are very grateful for your presence. And now we would like to invite questions. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What happens in your solar system? What happens in your infinite galaxy? But let us keep it relative. What happens in your solar system, as you know so well for those of you that are avid astrologers? Every movement of every planet, every movement of every particle within you is totally interconnected. The moon moves huge bodies of water on your planet every single day. Low tide, high tide. These planets, these eclipses, these solar flares are all simply, in even simple physical particle terminology, highly affecting your planet. Aha! But again, this is one of your wonderful chicken and the egg stories. Is it your consciousness, your awareness, that creates these shifts with the so-called celestial bodies? Or the celestial body is in charge, creating the shifts in your consciousness? And in fact, neither of these is correct, for they are all correct. That there is a massive connection, a massive amount of motion. So when there is an eclipse, know that, you are responsible. And know that, it will affect change. And it is a wonderful opportunity for you to say, okay, the normal ebb and flow will now become something else. What is crucial for you with these huge shifts in what you know as the material world is that you become less greedy, is that you become less of a control freak, is that you become more of someone who is in command, who is respectful, and who is open to the ever-changing forms of your own consciousness, of the greater consciousness. Does this answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you. Next question. So if there are no further questions, again we will increase the frequencies and increase this sense of depth, increase this sense of deep connection. And allow yourselves to feel the infinite love of this earth as you are manifestations of earth, of love, created by this Mother. And allow yourselves now to really be, whether you are male or female, the qualities of the Mother, of love, of compassion, of nurturing. And treat all beings around you with the same love that you would treat your own child. Unconditional love, caring, making sure that that child is fed, hugged, nurtured, loved. This is why you are here, dear beings of light. You are not here for any other reason. The big meaning of life is a four-letter word. And you do know how to spell it. And this four-letter word, love, is not about any other form of love, but that love that springs divinely from your heart. Allow it to be gracefully loving in all directions, all people, all the time. You are love. And so are we, and we are you. Feel your hearts. and that elastic band around you that keeps you bouncing back into your story, into your pain. That elastic band has become old and tired, it's lost its elasticity. And now it's just stretched out, dissolves in space, and allows you now to be in your own exquisite divine being freely, with complete freedom and unconditional love.